Hey, howdy, hey. I do it this way because I'm still 8 subscribers away from being able to do streams. So let's fix it. um, so I gotta find a good way to set this up. This might be a longer video, cause check this out, guys. Yeah, we gotta address. So this shit's been taking care of. Don't worry about that. We gotta address all that shit, man. We gotta address all that shit. Cause oh, still don't know where we're going for. That's another thing. Thank you, River. That's the show. The situation is I have too much shit. First of all, too much shit. So I have to downsize that immensely. Because right now we're looking at, we open all those boxes that fill probably this entire room. Ceiling to floor. Problem. So we gotta fix that. But like I said, I can't do the stream right now. So we gotta kinda like do this before and after business. So this is the before. Hang on. This is the before. Dun 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 dun. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for the after, cause my God, waiting for a trip. You know what I'm saying? I also have cardboard dust all over me because I was consolidating boxes. That's why this box is empty. I used to have clothing. This box right here, that's all the fragile items. So I shoved all the box into that box. Another thing I did the other day, consolidated. It's getting pretty hot here in Vegas, you know? So I have that's why this drawer is empty. That's where all the warm weather stuff lives. It used to take up 2 drawers, now it only takes up 1 drawer. And all the cool weather stuff is now all in only 1 drawer. So we're making progress in the clothing line. That's all the delicates in that drawer. At least downsize that eventually as well. And so empty. It's empty. Well, damn. And empty. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so half the dresser is empty. So that was approximately like a couple days ago. And then you have this massive pile of papers. These are all very important documents, so I can't get too close to them because are on them, obviously. But basically, it's a bunch of like diplomas, banking information, etc. in that realm. My birth certificate might also be in that pile. And then my social security card is right on the nightstand because of today's snafu, which, if you saw the earlier update, you know what that was about. It's just gonna get shanked, I swear. Anyways, before I crash out about that again. But for real, so right now, as you can see, this box has not 1, but 2 of the flaps were falling off. And yes, that's where all the fragiles went that I'm getting rid of. Threw those out. So this box is now gonna be marked as trash. I don't know where all my Sharpies went to at the moment, so I use this pen, but it's a gel pen, so it rides very smoothly, but it ain't as bold as the Sharpie would have been. But you can still see it. I'm done, it gets the job. I still got this whole situation here. That's all stuff that's being kept though. We got cleaning supplies, soap, I think a couple extra shampoo in there. We got the random air freshener. Random thing is cinnamon apparently. My extra large fidget cube is in there. The razor is underneath the cinnamon, next to the laundry detergent. The laundry detergent is also low, which is a problem. I have various care items for when washing items right here. So these are for making sure if I'm doing a mixed load, so the hooks of like bras and stuff don't get snagged on other items. That's if I'm like, actually I don't own sweaters anymore. I used to, many moons ago, own a couple. I want to say one or two. I've never really owned a whole bunch though because a lot of them are made of wool and I don't do wool. It's very itchy, very not good. I'm gonna set you guys there while I set this down. Okay. But the two sweaters that I did own, neither of them were wool. They were just like of the knitted material. My skeleton sweater, sadly, post the age of 18, stopped fitting me. Cries. So my skeleton era ended in high school thanks to that. It's cause apparently at the age of 19, my whole metabolism and my whole body in general just like flatlined. So literally within 1 year went from 125 to 150, which is crazy. And I'm only 5 foot, so that's like a literally, and that like not even within 1 year. It was like more accurately 4 months, if that. Crazy dogs, absolutely insane. I was shooketh. Nothing was fitting right anymore. I was upset. Then in 2025, I gained an additional 10 pounds. So I was chilling at 165 for a hot minute. But now we've miraculously gotten back down to 151. Slowly but surely getting back down to my ideal weight of 110. It's been a journey. It's been a battle. But we're here. And then my hips also grew. So that made it though, at least so anything denim, I was like, well shit, I ain't been a single digit in a hot minute. So I literally was like, well, they're gonna have to fucking wardrobe there. Cries. But that one I've just accepted that because of my bone structure has changed in the hips department, I probably will never be a single digit again. Because I was a 6 in high school, then post high school I became an 8, and then I realized I was actually squeezing into an 8, really pushing really loud on myself. So, in 2025, it was like, 2023, I was like, oh, I'm actually a 10. Oh, okay. And then I had like a whole dysmorphia episode about that because I was like, I went from single digits to double digits. Oh my lord. So I had like a whole crisis about that. And then I came to terms with the matter about late 2025. I was like, okay, we're just here. This is just how we are now. Because I try my best, despite the back issues, the introduced scoliosis, the permanently messed up ankle, no doubt this is something to do with the rotator cuff, unfortunately, whatever's going on here with this shoulder, where it just, like, has random pain in it, which is a big problem, and yes, I still don't have a physician. I have to do that. That is something I still have to do, but I've been trying to get some other things started first. So there's that. But at least the good thing is I do have health insurance, still, because after I turned 26, dropped off my dad's insurance. It is what it is in that department. That was inevitable. I knew that was going to happen. That was things that I was mentally preparing for a long time. Pretty much ever since I moved out on my own. So about 3 years, I was mentally prepared for that to be happening. So I wasn't worried about that. I'm on Medicaid now. So I do have health insurance. I just haven't had this mental capacity or the spoons to really just crack down and get a physician right now. So that's why that hasn't been done yet. But basically, I also need to find a Medicaid supported gyno because I swear, they ain't no way, no how I don't have endometriosis. Cause I swear to God, man, it's bad. It's really bad. Like I already know they when I got tested, they did ran blood tests that they said I was like a kitty whisker. I tell you, like less than a percentile away is what the lady said basically. From having PCOS, and to that I interpreted that as, are you sure I don't have it? Because I also have because I don't know, my whole fucking body died at the age of 19. I'm telling you, there's no joke. That's when the hypothyroidism happened. That's when the weight gain happened. That's when the pre-diabetes happened. That's when like my whole body like fell apart, you know. And then, because it's like, well, prior to that, I was already mentally falling apart, so my body was like, hey, why not just physically fall apart too? But we're much better now, mentally and physically. We're still working on some things. I think really just having, I think what really helped a lot was when I made this move out here. Because, let me tell you, I know I made updates over the years about certain matters, but to say that whole state is cursed is an understatement, because as soon as I got out here, so many more doors open up for me, you know? And added bonus for whenever I get the money to do so is there's no parallel parking for the driving test out here, so I'll be able to take another crack at the driving license, and it'll be going a lot smoother than it did in New York. Cause let me tell you, that shit is why I don't have a license in there. Cause stupid parallel parking. That I kept getting dingbats that were absolute assholes. That didn't help either. No, I kid you not. I don't know if I told this story before, but they're literally, the closest that I ever got it was my first time I went out there. She was pretty cool. Like, she exteriorly was definitely like a rough and tough, like, vibes to her, but she was real cool, like, butch lesbian chick. But yeah, like, that was the closest I came to passing. I just didn't get enough practice prior to that point, and that's why I didn't pass it the first time around. And then everything else after that, everything just kept going wrong. It's like, second time, glitching, I can't even put it into words, but I guess it was like, no, it's actually the second time is when I had the old guy. He was like, oh, why aren't you going? Well, there's fucking traffic coming around. Are you trying to cause an accident? Like, mate, what are you doing? You know? So, yeah. Then he's like, oh, go. And then I'm freaking out. And then he's like, oh, okay, fine. We'll just turn. There's a break in traffic finally. And then he's like, whoa. And I'm like, well, jeez, guy. You know, of course the turn's going to be pretty intense when you're rushing me like that. And then that same day, he said, allegedly, an accident almost happened with the parallel parking. Because, yes, I'll admit, a wee bit too close to the vehicle, but I wouldn't say, first in the notes he said he had to take control of the vehicle. That did not happen. And secondly, yes, I was a wee bit close, but everything was under control. I did not almost cause an accident. So that's what happened on the second one. And then the third time around, there was this chick. I swear she hated her job, but like claimed I was impeding traffic because I missed the turn signal or something. It had something to do with the traffic light. That's all I remember. But I was like, okay. Fourth time around, though, kitty whisker over the white line. I was like, okay, cool. So, I don't know. We'll see how things go whenever money allows for that one. Right now, though, I have to focus, when I do have to spare money, because technically this was supposed to happen by February. It did not. But I still have to get the correct state ID. I still have a New York ID, and I gotta get a Nevada ID, but I still haven't done that because of money. I'm hoping that I'll be able to, once after rent is paid, I'll be able to do that. And yes, rent is late to me. Yeah, that's okay. Life happens sometimes, you know. But yeah, for real, that's the lowdown pretty much of how life is going up to this point. You guys already know. If you've been keeping up with the channel, you guys already know more details about why absolutely had a horrendous time when I lived in New York. Horrendous is an understatement. But yeah, basically when it comes to what's going on with this whole decluttering situation is, I've downsized the clothing. So that was a huge win. Just took care of a bunch of the fragile items. That's a trash bag full of there. We have a tragedy happen. I don't know when this happened, and my guess is it happened a long time ago, and I just now noticed it. But look at this, guys. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you might be able to see it, but there's like so right here, there's a hole, and I don't know when that happened, but obviously that means I have to replace this because it's a light diffuser, and that tiny hole will let light in. So au revoir. That trash is gonna go in the trash pile, but it is what it is, guys, right? You know, because it's like the space is very limited in the Sprinter. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I have to replace that and then wait till the school you don't own it again. I don't know. Just right now, this whole ordeal, this whole situation with the room, being an absolute disaster right now has been an ongoing battle for the past month. Pretty much, give or take. As we're in April now, so I've pretty much been battling this the entire month of March. Because February was spent being a blobfish for the most part. I was going to the gym for a bit. That stopped after Valentine's Day due to my back and shoulder were starting to act up, so I had to get that a rest. So we'll see when finances allow when I'll resume doing that, or I'll probably more than likely, because I do have the yoga mat down, just continue doing the home exercises, but I don't know. I also have to kind of like high key get my finances more stabilized so I can actually like have more consistent meals, because right now I've got the once a month food bank situation, and then I had to I had to either call or make an appointment or go online, one of those three options, to reapply for the food stamps, because before, when I saw them first in person in, I want to say that was January, because it was January, because it was shortly after my seasonal position with Ross ended. So, back in January, this happened. I attended the interview for the welfare center. That's how I got Medicaid. But they said, due to being a graduate student, and so there's both of these factors, and due to the fact that at that time was not working at least 15 hours a week, I did not qualify for food stamps. But now, at this job, I am working at least 15 hours a week. So, we have to go back and redo the application and hopefully successfully are able to do it this time. Because there's still the factor of that I am still a graduate student, so I don't know if that's going to disqualify me again. But, wish me luck, guys, in that department. Because, yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Things are getting tight in the finances department for that. So hopefully that'll get all sorted out soon, folks. But yeah, it's not looking too good in that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the recap. Oh, and another thing, yeah. Another thing that I have to do. Yeah, sorry, I thought my neighbor was hovering outside my door. That was weird. Another thing I have to do is restock on my deodorant and my own cologne. Actually, the only cologne I own. I have to restock on that, but the cologne is a luxury item, so that's not going to be anytime soon. The deodorant, however, is very low. We definitely have to scrounge up extra money for that. I miraculously also have enough money for the monthly bus pass. I didn't think I was going to, but I did, because by some miracle, guess what happened, guys? The New York City tax insurance finally came in, so thank the universe for that, because that's how I paid for it, and that's also how I paid for the bus pass, so hallelujah, you know? This somehow became a 21-minute video. This is exactly why I switched to shorts, because I have ADHD. I swear, I can't speak concisely. I just end up on these rambles, and then this is why I only have 42 subscribers, which is a miracle I have 42 in the first place. Thank you guys, by the way, for sticking around for my bullshit, but I'm pretty sure I would have more if I would just, if my fucking brain would operate on a normal operating system instead of operating on fucking Windows Vista. But it's okay. You work with it. You just work. It's just how life, kind of the cookies of life crumbles, guys. If you know, you know when it comes to Windows Vista, by the way. That thing fucking broke. I kid you not. I had a desktop computer when I was 10. And my dad literally says that operating system destroyed it. That's why it didn't even last a year. I was like, well, damn. But then it worked out because, then by the time the age of 11 happened, I ended up with my own laptop, which kept blue screening, so that also was an issue. That thing blue screened at least 4 times until the age of 14. No. Actually, wow, that thing actually managed to survive throughout all of high school. That's crazy. But yeah, up until age 18, that thing took a shit. That's when it took a shit. And then I was without a laptop for a little bit. But then, my siblings' computer was still working, and then they ended up with my dad's old laptop, because he doesn't really use a laptop, because he has his desktop computers. Yes, he has 2. So, and he's not a gamer either, a PC gamer. He uses, primarily Xbox and occasionally PlayStation for gaming. So, I don't know why he needs 2 desktops, but he does. One is randomly an Alienware computer, even though he's not a gamer. Very interesting. But yeah, so I ended up with my siblings' an old computer to get me by up until that would have been 2020-ish. I scrounged up, I don't remember how I scrounged up enough money. Oh, yeah, no, I know where that money came from. Because when I was 18, I finally took my dad's name off of the one account that I had. Because this is before the mutual fund happened. So I had gotten about, I think it was 11 grand, if I remember correctly. When I was 18, unlocked for me. And I took my dad's name off of it because he was trying to steal $5,000 from me. Yeah, because he has a freaking hoarding habit with his action figures and so he's always constantly going into debt despite bragging about the fact that he makes 6 figures. So yeah, I had to make sure my money wasn't gonna get stolen. So I took his name off of that, and then that money I spent so much. I bought so much junk that I don't even think I own like any of those items anymore, because that's just literally how much junk I bought. Like, it was crazy. I was buying things for a place that I didn't even have yet at the time. And my dad was like, "Where are you even going to put all this?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out." And then here I am. 2026. Literally. Every time I moved to a place, I was like, I have too much shit. And this is how I ended up with too much shit. You want to know also how I ended up with too much shit? Because in 2021, my mutual fund from my grandmother opened up, and that was in another 11K that I absolutely blew through on more junk. So that's why I have so much stuff. And believe it or not, the stuff you see now is after 3 years. 3 years of decluttering. And I still have too much shit. Thank you, ADHD. That's that's literally why that happened. But anyways, so that that money that I inherited, which would have gone to my mother technically had she been alive at the time, but it got split between me and my sibling after my mother's mother died in 2012, which I don't know why the account was sitting in limbo for like 6 years, but it was. Then it finally unlocked to me at 18. But my sibling then also got a hold of their money, or would have, had my dad not gotten to it first. Back in that same year, 2018. And then my dad keeps saying to my sibling, "Oh, you're gonna get your money back with interest." Yeah, nah. My sibling never seen their $11,000 ever. My dad literally just used that. He used it to pay off his massive levels of debt that he acquired from his action figures. And even with that debt, he still almost lost the house at least like 5 times from then and now. To the point where he literally did. It went to foreclosure. And literally, there's now a whole new lender. That happened in 2021, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I had a mental breakdown at work about that. That was not good. Very glad I don't live there anymore, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Because my dad, I'm not gonna say I'm good with money, but my dad, he's really bad with money. Like, if you literally managing to lose your house when making 6 figures, dog, what are you doing? Like, that's the vibe. But anyways, so I think I lost the plot right now. I went on a bit of a tangent. Oh, yeah. So that's how 2020 ended up happening. And I bought myself a new laptop because I had to do online schooling, because thank you, pandemic. Yeah, that completely destroyed my career, pretty much my career path entirely, so to the point where I had to reroute things. Thank you very much for that one. Still mad to this day about that. Yeah, cause I got my associate's degree in communications because they didn't have a filmmaking specific one, and then my bachelor's degree was in filmmaking. But everything, all my connections and stuff, literally were never able to be made because of the stupid pandemic. So that's the story of why I'm not a filmmaker professionally. Thanks to all that mess. And thanks to the fact that there was no internships. Thank you, Buffalo. But it is what it is. You work around it, and now I'm in a grad program for psychology. Funny how the cookie crumbles of life, right? Which I'm like, why did I go to grad school is what I ask myself sometimes. But then I remind myself it's because I'm trying to make enough money to actually not have to worry about if I'm gonna be able to afford my next meal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get to the point where I can actually afford the necessities, and that's what keeps me going of getting to this grad school degree. Uh, little things like that, adulting. Um, but yeah, so I ended up getting my first like laptop on my own in 2020. Did the online schooling. That thing survived until 2024. It didn't blue screen of death. That's not what killed it. It did blue screen though the year before that. And that was a warning sign. But it just got like so incredibly slow that I was just like, it's time. So that's why I have my current laptop. And then I find out I got the current laptop and I got all the specifications. I was like, okay, this is matching up. Everything's gonna be good. I'm gonna be actually able to play this. So that's why I bought the current laptop that I have right now with the size of screen it has, and the I don't even remember which Intel model is in there because it's from 2024. I wish it had Ryzen in there. I think it probably would be functioning a lot better, like graphics wise, if that was the case. But it's okay. It gets the job done for like the schooling and stuff and my various creative writings. Tragically, both Photoshop and Premiere have took a shit, so I have to figure out why those are broken. So I haven't been able to like do my experiments, like cause I have this random experiment that I want to take. I want to take like my like various vlogs. I want to like turn them into like an adventure montage. But I can't do that right now because Premiere took an absolute dump. So that's been a thing for like 6 months now at least. It's been very upsetting. Actually, it might have been longer than that. I think it did that. It probably did that longer ago than that, but I just remember noticing it like a month ago, and so that's why that's a rough estimation of when that had to have happened, because I don't know. I really don't know. It's just like, okay, cool, thanks for that. But basically, I think I have to save up for another new laptop because I tried to play Baldur's Gate on there. So I tried to play Baldur's Gate 3 on there, and that's like lagging super bad, which is very annoying because I could have sworn I literally got the right graphics, all that jazz. The RAM is definitely more than enough. I have 2 terabytes of memory on there, so that's more than enough there. So that's just like, okay, cool. And GTA 5 is also lagging on there too, so that sucks. That sucks ass because I've not been able to do any of my gaming because both the Go-To games are lagging. The only one that doesn't lag is fucking Tangled. And I'm like, of course, that would be the one game that's not lagging. Okay. And yes, my whole Steam library is very eclectic. So yes, I have Tangled as well as I have various other like. Well, actually, I have a variety. I have like my genres. I think Tangled was just for nostalgia reasons, and then I looked at it and I was like, damn, I remember the graphics looking way better when I played this as a child. And then I have Dragon Ball Z. It's like a fighting game on there. I saw that once at my dad's friend's house. Their kids were playing it, and then I played it. It was pretty fun. And then I found it on Steam, and I was like, ooh. So they had it for I think it was PlayStation. They had it for that was several years ago. So that might have been, depending on how long ago that was, that might have been the PS3. It was quite a long time ago. It was like sometime in high school. That's all I remember. So it might have been PS4. I don't know. Depending on which part of high school it was in, and I also don't remember the release dates for either of those console sets. So I'm like 3 or 4 it was on. It was definitely not 5. But that's all I knew for sure. And then I also had I also got the entire I think it's like either a trilogy or a full on saga of the Batman Arkham games, because I fell in love with that game. I played it on the Wii of all things. Right? You didn't expect that, did you? I played it on the Wii. I think it was Arkham City or Arkham Asylum, one of those ones. I played it on there because I remember I really liked the game. From when my dad was always like, "Don't touch my Xbox." First of all, we weren't even supposed to be being upstairs in the first place. But what did my sneaky, stubborn self do? I kept going up there because I really liked that game, so I kept playing that game on. And he's like, "I'm just get your own copy." So that's how that happened, and that's why now I own those in my Steam library. I also have various. I think I have both Res 7 for the Resident Evil games and Res 8. I have several other games that I thought were really cool when I saw Markiplier and Jacksepticeye do Let's Plays on those. That's how Jacksepticeye is why I have Village and whatever 7 was called. I also have the various Tomb Raider games, and then I have I have The Forest. That's thanks to Markiplier. I have, what else do I have on there? Evolution Humankind is Jacksepticeye did a video on that one. Then I have this a bunch of just random eclectic things on there. The list is still growing because my best friend also recommends me some more indie games on there that I have added over time as well. I also have randomly crime scene cleaner simulator. That's a mouthful. Crime scene cleaner simulator. That I think was either because of Fable or Jacksepticeye. I don't remember which one is why I have that one. I know I have Power Wash Simulator because of, I think that was because of Markiplier, if I remember correctly. Or was Jackaboy? Might have been Jacksepticeye, one of them. Actually, I don't remember. I want to see who's Markiplier why now like that. Because this Steam library, I have 35 games last time I checked on there, probably more than that now, because this library has been growing since I want to say it was 2016. I've had this Steam library growing since, so there's a lot on there, and obviously, that costs money. So I've bought, oh wow, yeah, actually there is, there's a lot more than 35 on there, because I just realized when I was transferring the data from the desktop computer, rest in peace, and we'll get into one that's broken in a moment. It was at least 40 games I remember being on there, and it filled up the entire 2 terabytes that I had on. I was like, damn. So I had to uninstall them all and just only install Baldur's Gate 3 on there, because that's, at the time, my friend that I was living with at the time, before I realized she is hella bipolar, so that was hard no. No, bye-bye. That's why we're not friends no more. Because she's just as crazy as her mother. But anyways, so in 2024? Early 2024. Yes, when she introduced me to the game, we were playing it on, she brought her Xbox over to my apartment. I remember there's this video, my first roommate that I had said, by the way, would not recommend ever moving with a coworker. Do not recommend that. That was my mistake. Big mistake on my part. I was just so desperate at the time to get out of my dad's house. I was looking at anything. I was like, oh, we get along at work. Little did I know that we did not have compatible personality types. But there's this like video that floats around in my Google Photos that every now and then it's like, remember this day, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I guess he was either her boy toy at the time, or they were just like friends in general. I don't remember, because she did have a couple of boy toys. At throughout the time period that we were living together. Um, so anything's possible where this dog came from. But first of all, no pets were even supposed to be in the apartment in the first place. So this dog was high-key contraband. But I wasn't about to say shit because I was like, okay, he's only staying over for the weekend, I guess. But the dog's name was Gabby. She made a cameo, I remember, in one of the videos, where I was trying to learn the controls, and I was trying to learn this, figure out more of the lore, because my friend had played a lot. My friend at the time had played a lot more than I did, and so then I was like, okay, I gotta buy this for myself. Then, come to find out, my laptop couldn't handle it, so then I tried to use it on my desktop computer. I bought that in 2024 as well, like I want to say spring of 2024 because I remember I moved out of that place June 2024, even though the lease didn't end until July of 2024, so I still paid July's rent, even though I wasn't living there. I was just like, fuck that shit, whatever. Um, but basically, I bought the desktop computer. I was like, okay, 2 terabytes of memory. That should be plenty. Everything's Gucci there. I remember it was like 32 gigs of RAM or something like that, or 64, one of those two numbers. And then I had the Ryzen 7. I invested big time in this graphics bizno. I had the Ryzen 7 in it. And it was all pre-built because I don't have the spoons or the money to actually build one myself yet. That is on my list of things that I do want to do at some point in life, but not anytime soon right now. That's gonna be the post-schooly that's gonna happen when I'm much more chillaxed in life, you know? And actually can like sit down and focus and research a little bit more, because I do have some parts saved and some documentations I gotta up. But a lot of those parts, I kid you not, like for a decent GPU, is at least $1,000. So needless to say, that's not happening right now. But basically, I cry when I think about it sometimes. But I had this absolutely magnificent gaming setup, and for those of you guys who are like the OGs that were around at that time, you might have seen it, but during one of the room tours. But like I had this L-shaped desk, I had the tower tucked away underneath. It was like everything was like all synced up. It had the changing colors. The keyboard changed the colors too. I had the mouse chilling there. I still have the monitor miraculously that survived. Actually, I don't know if it's actually survived or not because I haven't turned it on in a hot minute. But yeah. Oh man, my room was so cool in that place. Oh man, yeah, I had my pride flags were used as curtains because I didn't actually have prop curtains at the time. I had these little mountains, that each one had a different word on it. That it was like there was 3 of them total, but it said adventure awaits on it, and so one of them I think was blank. And then yeah, I had to have my dream catchers up through the apartment. I had my canvases that had like this watercolor silhouette of downtown Buffalo. In the living room, I had this one that was like more so for shits and giggles that just said kitchen rules on it, and it was like, if you make it, share it, you dirty it, clean it, etc. I had the I had a metal weed sign that lived in my room. That did not survive the transport across country, for better for worse. I had this I had and then I had behind my door I had this one funny sign that said sorry we're stoned instead of sorry we're closed. Uh and what else did I have in them? Because I did jeez. I had Oh no, I had oh my god, my VW bus one though tragically died with the first apartment, so that one was gonzo unfortunately by the time I got to the second apartment. But I had so much cool shit there. Like my room was the coolest room on the whole in that whole zip code, I swear. Like not to pat myself on the back or nothing, but that thing was looking pretty swanky, you know? And I did not have a bed frame though, because my loft bed frame, I said to hell with that. Got rid of that from the first apartment. Um, so my mattress was literally on the floor, but I had all this really cool stuff around me. Like I had these fairy light, little clips, clothespins, clothes. Is that the word? Clothes clips, clothespins, something like that. They were along the wall. I had my vision board hung up. I had the fairy lights on either side of that. It looked so cool. And then when I turned the lights off, everything just had this cool ambiance about it. I had the RGB lighting from the computer and keyboard. I had fairy lights. I had my crystals set up. It was so cool, guys. It was a damn shame though. The neighbors absolutely sucked ass because I swear to God they were always banging things around in the middle of the night, or they were yelling and fighting. I swear to God, there was so much domestic violence, no cap, in that upstairs apartment. It was bad. It was so bad that we could hear through the ceiling. And then when they weren't doing that, they were just like absolutely going at it like rabbits super loudly. We were just like, okay, thanks. It was literally to the point where one time, literally, my roommate banged on the ceiling with a broom handle. And I'm like, well, they probably can't hear you, but sure, go ahead, do that. And, and sure enough, it didn't work. I was like, see, I told you. So then I went about, was organizing my closet. And then she knocks on my door, and then I was like already overstimulated from the neighbors being loud as hell. And I'm like, apparently I actually sighed very loudly. She got nervous about that. I opened my door, and she's like, hey, you good? I'm like, oh yeah, I was just organizing my closet. She's like, well, I heard a loud sigh. I'm like, oh, oops. And then she's like, yeah, so I was maybe wondering if I could take a hit off your vape or something. And I was shocked because she never really vaped or anything like that. And yes, I vaped at the time. I have since quit miraculously. But she's like, yeah, the neighbors are stressing me out. I just need something to take the edge off right now. And I was like, yeah, sure, good. Careful not to get addicted. Just, it is nicotine in here. She's like, yeah, it's no problem. I've smoked a cigar before, which that part I guess I wasn't entirely surprised, even though I never saw it myself because both her parents smoked cigars a lot, so I wasn't entirely surprised about that. But I was like, okay, fine, sure. You've had experience with nicotine before, and you don't seem to have addiction yet, so I was like, okay. Or because I try not to be the reason why people get into nicotine or any other substances for that matter. Because I know that once you get addicted to nicotine, it's very hard to escape it. And to this day, even when I'm stressed out, I still get the cravings. But I've resisted so far, mainly from the fact that I don't have, like, barely any money. I kid you not, make $282 a week. That's dirt, man. That's dirt. But whatever. At least it's better than zero, which is what I was working at prior to that. So I'm very grateful about that. And I get left the fuck alone because I'm literally in charge of running the entire satellite location myself. I'm like, hallelujah! I don't gotta deal with the general public. I don't gotta deal with micromanaging. Thank God for that. Thank the whole universe. Thank everybody. I'm very, very grateful about that. The one thing that I gotta I gotta barely deal with though, thank goodness, I haven't had to deal with them so far, is apparently there's a huge homeless issue downtown, so like I always have to like triple check the locks on the exterior gates because this guy literally I got to work I want to say it was like Wednesday or Thursday, maybe even Tuesday. I got to work. I was grabbing a package out of the package drop off bin, and this construction guy comes over to me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing today?" Oh no, he's not. He literally said, "Having fun yet?" That's what he said. And I was like, I was so confused. I'm like, "Who's this guy?" And I'm like, "What?" Confusedism mode activated, and then he like introduced himself, and I guess like he's like basically the neighborhood watch patrol, helps keep the homeless out. Basically, he's like, so the homeless aren't dangerous, but they are a threat. They will climb over the fences, they will try to break in and steal your wiring. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. So I always triple check the locks, to say the least. And I'm glad we got this like real thick, heavy duty like double door situation for the back door because that's where they like to camp out, is in the backyard. There's a shit ton of trash in the one corner because of that. And I'm just like, that's interesting. But yeah. So other than that, it's pretty great. But before I got derailed, yeah, back to the room. So back to the other story, though. So yeah, like I was like really surprised that she wanted to take a hit off the vape. So she did that. She's like, wow, this isn't even that strong. And I was just like, what? Oh, okay. And I was like, the vents aren't even that open or anything. What? I was so surprised that she wasn't even coughing on her none because she has asthma and I have asthma, so occasionally the vape will trigger it and I'd start coughing, but not a single thing, not a single issue. I was like so shocked. But anyways, yeah, that was before shit at the fan. You guys already know about that. I made an update at the time about that matter. That September the 13th was horrible. Horrible. The whole year of 2024 sucked ass, pretty much, not gonna lie. But especially on that day. So the shit went down. I did the emergency move. Everything had to get thrown into a storage unit. Then I was paying that $80 fucking a month for a stupid U-Haul unit that was leaking. It was literally getting flooded on. So I was like, well, fuck that shit. So I was in this like studio apartment also for a little bit. That was the third apartment. Yeah, I was only there for a week because literally gunshots happened outside my window and I was like, fuck this! I'm not trying to die. And then the next morning, like 2 fire trucks went by and I was like, oh shit! Oh shit, they shot up the place and then they set it on fire! Oh no! So that was very spooky. Oh, and by the way, it was broad daylight. These gunshots happened my way, y'all. I didn't know. I apparently ended up in the hood. It was bad, guys. It was bad. So after that week, I ended up moving to a much better place. But I unfortunately had to share a room. And then I made the mistake again of moving in with a coworker. You think I'd learn the first time, right? Did not. But then again, in that particular situation, I was battered and bruised emotionally and just needed something, some type of stability where I didn't have to worry about getting shot up if I got outside, you know? So that's why I had to do that. And, then, so, I slowly but surely started grabbing things from the storage unit, crashed the fuck out one day because everything's like fell over because my uncle was absolutely shit faced when he helped my dad move things. Literally, you know those tall Molson Canadian beer cans? Yeah, apparently, according to my dad, he had drank in at least 12 of those total because he drank 6 of them prior to him entering my apartment. And then I saw him drink 6 while we were moving. So, and then, yes, he gets behind the wheel. He's driving my shit around in his pickle truck, which I'm very grateful to help and all that jazz. But I was just like, why am I not surprised? That ain't the first time, nor was it the last time. That man has driven drunk. I was like, well, just say, hey, it's just another day in the neighborhood of that department, you know. But anyway, so basically, my whole storage unit was fucked because my dad is an absolute moron, okay? So, I guess they must have been throwing shit in there or what? I don't know. I was not too pleased when I opened that shit and everything fell down. No. I crashed the fuck out about that. Oh, I was like going off so hardcore. Oh, that's also how my really cool bong broke. I had a bong at the time that I never used. It was mainly just a decorative piece because I like cool glass. It had like these cool trippy mushrooms on it and like orange pattern. That shit shattered. I was so upset about it. That was from the avalanche. I was so upset. And like, then, so I'm grabbing shit out there. I'm crashing out. She's trying to get me to calm down. Then I just have like a fucking mental breakdown. Talk about an icebreaker, right? Fucking mental breakdown. And we finally get my essentials that I needed out of the storage unit. And I'm like completely just shot afterwards. I'm just flatlined, numb. We ended up getting I think we went to McDonald's and we got some chicken Sammys and large fries and milkshake after that. Because it was McDonald's walking distance from the apartment at the time. Which was more like actually scratched at. It wasn't an apartment. It was a room inside a house. With 7 other people. 7 other people. Not to mention. The only physically female people that were there were me, one other person, and the person I was sharing a room with. The rest of them are all physical males. All cis men. Needless to say, sharing a bathroom with those who stand to pee is disgusting. And I'm glad I don't ever have to do that again. Because the amount of times there was piss on the floor is disgusting. And that we found the perpetrator who mainly did it. We called him out on his shit, and he just deflected it all. It was like, okay, dude, you're 26 years old. Grow the fuck up. Type of vibes, you know? That guy was an absolute idiot, and I can't believe he was the guarantor of our living establishment at the time. That was like, who the fuck did that? It's a miracle we didn't lose the house, you know? Like, the absolute incompetence of this man is insane. And yet somehow he ended up with an engineering degree? How the fuck can you be that stupid at life and manage to do that at the same time? That the paradox is real. The paradox is real. So, so this is before, this is before Thomas the cat ends up in the picture as well. About 2 months living, then she impulsively gets a cat because her boyfriend wanted a cat. So her boyfriend at the time, they're no longer together, thankfully, because he's a man child, and she talks. Bad combination. But he was cool other than that, other than the lack of maturity. Man, his car was so cool though. He had a Subaru WRX STI. That shit was so cool. And then like he did some like mods on it. That thing was zooming and grooving, yo. Oh man, that thing was so. It was from 2018, so a little bit older model, but you wouldn't be able to tell because he like invested so much money into it. Oh, that thing. Oh, I miss that car. I don't miss the people. No, but I miss that car. I miss that car. But yeah, so Thomas comes into the picture about 2 months in of me living with her. I'm like putting away all my stuff. So she's like, oh, and but through my decluttering processes that did also happen through all of this, because she's an evangelist, was like, what's all these crystals and all these books about? Because I'm a pagan who practices magic on occasion. Okay, so I have a lot of witch books. I mainly of the Green Witch variety because I am in tune with nature. And I have a lot of crystals because they are healing with the energies that come from the earth and all that jazz. So she was hardcore being condescending about all that jazz and being like, And then, mysteriously, a bunch of shite disappears. All of my tarot cards and all of my oracle cards, gone. Bunch of crystals, gone. I'm like, okay. That's a little suspicious. And that shit ain't cheap either. That shit ain't cheap, Nah, so, to say I was pissed off about that is an understatement. I was like, okay. Is this what we're doing? Okay. Cool. So, I made a mental note about that matter. Didn't feel like picking a fight about it because I didn't have the emotional capacity to deal with that. Because she had the temperament, the size and length of a pin needle. Yeah, the woman, unstable. So there I am. So I was just like living throughout life. Then she also did not take care of the cat very well. She did throw him against the wall at one time, where now he has a permanent limp, which is fabulous. I'm just grateful he's alive. He's now 2 years old. Yeah, miracle he survived. But I bonded with that cat very thoroughly because most of the time it was me and him alone a lot. Because she went over to her boyfriend at the time's house, technically his parents' house, because he lived in their basement at 27 years old. Yeah. And then some point there got to a point where she didn't want the cat anymore. It's just like shortly. This is March. Yeah, this all just shit went down. I want to say. So, like, sometime in that winter period of 2025, she just is like, I don't want to deal with the cat anymore. I want to get rid of him. And I was like, well, I'll take him off your hands. Trying to make sure he gets safe home. And so she's like, okay, sure, cool. Talks to her boyfriend at the time about the matter. They agree. Get all the paperwork transfer over, all that jazz. And then so then I was like, so I knew from trying to raise the cat that I didn't have the emotional capacity to take care of it. But my best friend Fable and his partner, they were looking for a cat, and I was like, hey, Thomas really likes you, because Fable would come over a lot, and Thomas fell in love with Fable on first sight. So, then we got the paperwork. Ended up getting, I got all the paperwork, gave it to him and Anthony, who is his partner, which I would not be surprised if they were getting married in the next couple, a year or two. So they've been together since 2021, I want to say. So very long time, 5 years at this point. But so then to pick up the cat, take all this stuff. So that's why he's able to thrive right now, because he really just needed 2 people with him, because he has a lot of energy. He's a tuxedo cat too, so extra chaotic. Not as chaotic as Orange Boys, but pretty chaotic nonetheless. So now he's known as instead of just Thomas the Tank, which is what the name he came with, now he's known as Thomas Jefferson. Which is funny. And then yeah, so I ended up just living in that place. Was working at Geico then for a bit too during that time. Then I befriended the other physically female fellow non-binary person there. We became really great friends. Things are going well. So I thought. And yeah, so the three of us then decide we're gonna go move into this apartment. And how we discovered this apartment is really, really funny. So the chick that I shared a room with, she did a lot of door dashing, and we discovered this place because we actually had dropped off an order to one of the apartments. We were like, oh, I wonder if they have openings. She happened to go in person and ask about that, and sure enough, they had openings. So May of 2025, she and I signed a lease for that place, and then the third person wasn't going to move in until June of 2025 because they were just really concerned about moving a month early for some reason or another. They had a lot of paranoia issues, which is a whole story in itself, and emotional maturity questions. Very emotionally mature as well, is what I'm saying. Yeah. We'll get to that moment. So it's just the 2 of us in the apartment, and then we slowly start realizing we both have very dominant personality types. We both really just need to be in control of situations. And at the moment things start going out of control, the balances of the universe start teetering into outer space. So a lot of tension started building up. Then she impulsively got a dog. You can see where this is going. The person that I became friends with dropped me off from work one day. My roommate at the time has her boyfriend, who's now her ex-boyfriend, over. We're all hanging out. The dog starts going a little cray-cray. Because dog is very sensitive to loud noises. Ren did... person that I become friends with did not close the Tupperware container quietly. They just kind of like snapped it shut very lightly, but then again, there's no real way to close it quietly, is there? So the dog started going like, going all spooked. And that was the moment that the owner of the dog should have taken the dog to the dog's room and let her calm down. That would have prevented what happened next. The person I was friends with at the time puts the extra sliced pizza in the fridge. Goes to grab a plate. Dishes naturally clang. They could have definitely taken the dishes out a lot quieter, I will admit. But then they were using the soft close door, so it wasn't like the cabinets were slamming. So when they shut the door, it made just a quiet thump and not like a super loud thump. And dog starts barking. Owner of dog starts blaming everybody but her dog for why the dog's barking. I'm having a little bit of... And then, meanwhile, a side thing is happening where I'm talking to her. I was like I made the gentle request of, can we please not leave garbage on the counter? Because she had left the receipt on the counter. And then she was like, well, I need to be treated like a human being, all this jazz. And then we're having a little bit of an argument. The artisan that I used to be friends with, they so we're having a side conversation with the psycho chicks, or actually she's not even psycho, she's just like emotionally unstable. The emotionally unstable chick boyfriend and my friend at the time, they're having like this side conversation. He says a smart remark. Friend goes to playfully smack him on the head with a piece of contact paper. Very dumb move, by the way. Because what happens next just gets worse. The dog starts growling, lunges off the couch. When friend does this, friend immediately goes onto the floor, down on their knees, goes, and then as they're doing that, they knock their water bottle over, which unfortunately made a loud clang, and boom! Dog attacks. That was crazy. Could have been easily prevented, though. So, at first, we think, like, pretty much everybody, all three of us are thinking, aside from, obviously, friend who's being attacked, are thinking, oh, she's playing. And friend is, like, in shock at first. Then friend starts screaming. And then I'm just like, oh, no. Then dog starts going more cray-cray. Then, emotionally unstable chick, she pulled the dog off. That was the moment she thought something was wrong. Not before that moment. That was the moment she thought something was wrong. And then she takes the dog, throws her into the room. I rush over to friend's side. I'm like, friend, you okay? Super shooketh. I'm super shooketh. I end up having like anxiety attack. I was like, that was spooky. You know, that was scary. I end up like literally crying about that. And then I just like automatically just didn't feel safe anymore. So then friend and I go to pack up a bag for me because I didn't go staying back at the old place where the friend is still staying. And as I'm packing my stuff up, I remember the unstable chick is like, so I shut my door. She's like, open the door. We need to talk about this. Insisting on having a conversation. I'm just like, no, we're not talking. Nope, not happening. Friend called their mother at some point, and I guess their mother had us on speaker. They're telling about what's going down. As this chick's knocking and banging on my door, then I open my door, and she's trying to like be like, oh, friendo, set my dog off. This isn't fair. You're making me choose between you guys and the dog, and all this, and trying to like high key victim blame and not accept for responsibility for what she could have prevented. And then I just have to go crazy at this point. I go absolutely postal, start cursing out, yelling at her. I'm like, you putting a dog's well-being over someone you called your friend, all this, that, and the other thing. Then apparently her boyfriend at the time has a panic attack in the corner, and then she's like, oh, you're breaking my heart. And I'm just like, completely zero fucks to give. And then like after cursing her, we leave, and then I hear Friendo go, Grandma, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, sorry you had to hear that. And then the grandmother, she's funny. She's like, oh, don't you worry about that child. I've heard a lot worse in my day. I was just thinking to myself, well, damn. Okay. And then as we're leaving, this chick, the emotionally unstable chick, she's like, you made my boyfriend have a panic attack. I'm like, this wouldn't have happened if you just did what you had to do. So we leave. I'm gone for like a month. Eventually she moved out as well. So then friend and I moved back in June. And then I realized just how absolutely loud and obnoxious and just absolutely childish said friend ended up being. So that's why there were several disagreements, to the point I got so mad one time. I'm like, you need to leave and not come back. And then I guess they did. They just left and didn't come back one day. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that was easy. And then a couple weeks later in July happens. An individual moves in. Then I get great. This person moved in a couple weeks. Yeah, friend didn't fully move out until August. That's right. So like the month of June went pretty well, and then July is when the issues started happening. Do might run at times where it's like, oh, great icebreaker moment. The individual that moved in, was polyamorous, for context, and so, and trans man. So he and his girlfriend, or date mate, they are date she. Partner, we'll say. They wrote to go to this oddities expo, and I'm just like having this whole breakdown because this argument had just went down. Apparently unbeknownst to me. So this person had gone out to hang out at their partner's house, but their friend, who's decently attractive, anyway, this random sidebar, he apparently was still at the house, at the apartment. I didn't know this. Friend at the time didn't notice either. And we're having this argument, and the poor guy gets low-key traumatized by this. And I guess that's why he's, like, skittered away. I was like, oh, bye, have a nice day. He's like, oh, you too. And he looks so spooked. Little did I... And then that's when it kind of clicked to me, and I'm like, oh, he totally heard the yelling, didn't he? Oops. And, like, I was like, awkward. then my roommate comes out, and he's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. Why? And they're like, oh, a friend texted me, said, help. Your roommates are arguing and fighting, and I don't know what to do about it, but I'm not getting involved. And I was like, oh, he heard all that? Oops, sorry. And then I'm like, and I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, oh yeah, just friend and I might have had like, and I'm like, friend and I might have had just a bit of a disagreement. That's all. Trying to play it real cool, and then I end up, and then it's quite clear that I had been trying to have a breakdown prior to this point, and then roommate's like, are you sure everything's fine? And then I kind of have another breakdown. I'm like, no, things not fine. They're stepping on my bones. They weren't listening to me when I said I needed space. And then I kept talking. And then this, that, and the other thing kept happening. And then roommate's like, hey, do you want to get out of the house for a bit? We're going to this expo. Do you want to come with? And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. So that's how we all ended up going to the Oddities Expo, and which was a really great time, by the way, for what it's worth. And then, July kind of comes and goes. A couple more of those types of arguments happen between me and then at that point now, ex-friendo. They end up moving out in August. August goes by pretty smoothly. No issues. Then, September happens. And, shortly before that, I want to say, couple weeks out, it was a couple weeks after the ex-friendo moved out. This really loud trans woman moves in. So loud. The walls are paper thin, baby. So I'm hearing her going, yelling and cursing people out on the phone, hearing her TV blasting. I'm like, brilliant. Peace and quiet is no more. So I guess I went on a bit of a text rant one time because I was fed up about it. And that started a whole fight. Unintentionally. And to the point where the roommate that I had now become friends with had to mediate the situation. And we have a house meeting about things I think are so I thought going to go smooth. It ended up being with. Also, one of the things that happened was this chick moved my stuff without my permission, which I was very pissed about. So I ended up solving the issue. I took all my stuff out of the kitchen, kept it in my room. I was like, hey, problem solved. Bang, bang, boom. Screw you. Not happening. The lack of accountability on her part about the matter was also ridiculous. Oh, and then the fact that the the friend the roommate I had become friends with was like, yeah, if you don't want your stuff touched, maybe you shouldn't have it in the kitchen. I'm like, whose side are you on? Think to myself, whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? So that day, that whole weekend comes and goes. That night, so I think the madness was off, right? Then September comes around. This roommate that I become friends with is also very much an alcoholic. So they're drunk one time, and for some reason, only when they're drunk, they start making like sexual flirtations towards me. And I said to them, I'm like, hey, yo, come back to me when you're sober, right? Then we'll talk. You know, because I was open to the idea. Just not when they're drunk, obviously. And, yeah. Drunk with phone. Nice. So they drank like a whole bunch of beatboxes one time. Get behind the wheel. And I'm like, well, I better make sure they don't crash the car. So I get in the car with them. We go get some more beatboxes. And then I drank 2 beatboxes. And apparently I can never drink them again because now they just make me throw up. But, so then I got sauced. And us two started making it. I think everything's going fine. And, you know, the other roommate, she's on her computer playing Resident 101. Everything's going fine. We're chatting. Everything's Gucci. Everything's fine. I thought we're finally making a breakthrough. Then I fell on the floor. Started and was like, couldn't get up. And then this person that I dared to call a friend was like, I'm not being anybody's babysitter. And it's like nobody was asking you to. Okay? Rude. And I could literally just look at them, and I just kind of like, I'm like, making the face of, the fuck was that statement about? So I was deeply offended, to say the least. Then I go to my room for a bit. Then I hear them two talking, the 2 roommates talking with each other. I'm like, okay, maybe things have calmed down a bit. So I come back out, we chit chat. So I thought I was gonna have but no, I was told, go back in my room, go bed. Even though this person was wasted way more than me. So here's how this went down. In my inebriated state, I was so mad, I went off a bit. But I guess, and here's where things get fuzzy, because I don't remember this night very well. Really, really don't. And that could be a combination of the fact that probably a split was triggered by this incident, because yes, I was on anti-anxiety medicine at the time that was working somewhat well, but apparently it also triggered more BPD episodes, more intense BPD episodes. I didn't know that until that happened, because sugar had not occurred until I was ignored and left out, and then all of a sudden, boom, next thing I know, grabbed them by their hair, headlocked them, and then I don't really remember much after that, other than next thing I know, I kind of like escaped into my room, and then a cab is like pushed open my door. My sibling came up with a nickname of Mr. Clean from this guy based on my description of him, because he's like this really just like power hungry bald white guy. And yeah, he shoves open the door. I'm lifted up by my arms, thrown onto a gurney, I guess. And then I just remember the next thing I'm yelling is, Case, his roommate hears his name, this is all your fault, this because in that moment, all of my anger was directed towards her, because I didn't really like her that much to begin with. So all my anger was directed to her. I'm like, this is all your fault, And that's all I remember yelling, saying over and over again, "This is all your fault. It's all your fault." As I'm yelling that, and then I'm like, ah. Then I start panicking. I'm like, I'm being kidnapped. Then I start screaming. Then I sort of remember being taken down the stairs on the gurney, put into the ambulance, and wheeled away to the hospital because, oh yeah, because I'm panicking so much at this point in the ambulance that I end up having an asthma attack. They ended up trampling my stuff to grab my inhaler off the desk, and I miraculously survived. I swear I almost died from the asthma attack. That was really bad. They got me evaluated at the hospital, threw up in the ambulance and in the hospital. That was really bad. Very, very bad. I kept being like, but I kept being really like nice about it. I kept being like, sorry about the mess. And I remember that part, and I remember in the ambulance, this guy. I kept being like, yo, getting so spooked out by him due to trauma. I kept being like, no guys here, no guys are only females only. And he's like, well, too bad I'm here. And then I'm like, and then I told him to shut up. I remember that. And then I escaped. I must have temporarily dislocated my thumb because I remember I slipped out of the handcuff. They had me handcuffed to this gurney, I guess, for my own protection or something like that. I slipped my hand out, and I'm like, huh. And then he comes over, grabs my hand, and then I'm like, trying to get his hand off my hand, and then he's like, goes in the little gruff, no, don't touch me. I'm like, I go into deer headlights spooked mode. Go into fawning, just I'm a small turtle now mode, and then that gets readjusted, I guess, and then I sit up because I ended up getting the middle buckled down strap of the gurney off of me. I sit up, try to use my teeth to undo the Velcro on the straps they had on the ankles. I was like chewing at that, numbing at that, being like, that did not successfully, that did not end successfully. Because I guess industrial strength Velcro is no joke. But I kept being like, every time one of the EMTs, we were like, the one chick, she was really nice. I remember the black chick, she was real nice, she was real sweet. You know, I kept being like, oh, where's it? What are you guys? What are your pronouns? And I kept being real sweet about that. And then I kept being like, I swear on my mother's grave, I'm not threatening nobody. I just want to go. I kept being like, I swear on my mother's grave, I'm not a threat to anybody. I just want to go sleep in my bed. I kept saying, I want to go and sleep in my bed. Nobody was listening. But she was like, yeah, unfortunately, we can't do that. We gotta get you evaluated at the hospital because you had an asthma attack. And then I threw up in the ambulance, and the other chick, this strawberry blonde chick, was like, oh my god, it smells like vinegar. And I told her to shut up. And, because I was not having none of that attitude. Then I guess I must have blacked out again, because next thing I know, I'm in the evaluation room, because it's not an operation, it's some evaluation room. There's this female nurse on one side, and then there's this Indian dude hovering over my head. I'm like, what the? I was like, who are you? I'm like, what the? So confused. And then the nurse is like, that's the doctor. I'm like, no, go away. I kept saying, go away. Because, needless to say, I was completely not on planet Earth. Gonzo still. And then I was like, oh, who are you? What are your pronouns? Said to the nurse lady. And then I was like, can I just go to sleep in my bed, please? I kept on saying that. And this all happened on a Monday, by the way. So yes, I ended up missing work on Tuesday because of all this fiasco. And threw up again. And then I said to the maintenance guy who's like mopping it up, I'm like, sorry about the mess. And he's like, don't worry, it happens. And, and then, like, I guess I get evaluated, and the next thing I remember is I'm, like, at the police station, and then they have, like, these fancy machines. It's no longer ink anymore. It's this fancy machine that scans your hand. Then, like, a mugshot was taken. And, by the way, I'm just in, a tank top style undershirt and a pair of boxers. No shoes and nothing. So, that was also a thing. And then I got chilling out and holding myself a little bit, and then they're like, yeah, you can go home now. Little did I know, it was literally 3 p.m. the next day by the time I got home, because I ended up having to spend $25 on a cab to get home, and then when I finally get my room, get in my bed, it's 3 p.m. 2 missed calls from my boss. 3 missed calls from my dad. I'm like, gee. Call my boss back. Well, I texted my boss back. I'm like, hey, sorry, I was like in the hospital, and I did not have access to my phone. And then I texted my dad and said similar. Or either that, or I just ended up explaining it the next day. One of those two things for that one. And then I just zonked out until my alarm went off the next day. And then went to work, brought the paperwork in. Everything's all fine and dandy. I miraculously didn't get fired. Miraculously. And, and then I ended up literally moving out shortly after that. So then I was at my dad's place for the rest of September. I had a court hearing on October 8th, where I miraculously was cleared just with a restraining order, even though I don't really remember much, but I was told after the fact by the female roommate that apparently there was a knife involved that I don't remember happening, that I pulled a knife on her. I don't remember doing this. Still don't remember to this day. Like, there's memories that apparently gone, non-existent. I'm just like, huh. Interesting. But I could tell she wasn't fucking around from how she was said it. I'm like, well, damn. I don't remember that. My bad. And, yeah. And, so I'm at my dad's house for, from the rest of September, all of October. So October 8th is the hearing. But my boss told me about this free music event called Music is Art or something like that. And I was like, well, this could be my last, couple days of freedom. So I invited my best friend there. We have a grand old time. There's a video documenting that. We're having a ball. It was super fun. And then the court day happens. Everything thankfully goes smooth. And after that, I swear, my friend has never hugged me this hard in my life. But it was it was one of those I thought I'd never see you again type of hugs. And I'm still processing the matter, in shock. They bear hug me, and I hug them back, and it's just it's one of those man, it's good to be free type of moments. It's and they were like, I'm so scared for you, man. I'm like, yeah, I was scared too. Sheesh. And then we got back to my dad's house, and they go back home after that, and then the rest of October is spent at my dad's house. I'm working for this, I'm working in this mail room at this point. As I left Geico in July or August. Started working at the mailroom place in September. And then, so all of October, all of November, I'm at my dad's house. And then I just, something just really just like clicked in me. I'm like, I gotta get out. I gotta get out. It happened in October that brainwave happened, but I was like, I'm not gonna have enough money to move until December 1st at the earliest. And then December 1st, moved out here to Vegas. And, well, the rest is history. I fought my way through the job market. I miraculously found this lovely place here. So then I literally scrounged my way through the job market, used my tax returns to pay for December and January. I remember from federal tax returns. And then I was working at Ross for seasonal. When I first got here, that paycheck paid for February. And then I was unemployed from February till March 15th. So my dad had to help me using what would have been birthday money for March rent. I remember that. And then, March 15th, I became employed with the current mailroom that I work in, where now it's a satellite location. I'm the only one there. And I gotta be on the lookout for homeless people trying to break into the building, but other than that, everything's fine. So that's kind of like the random life recap that decided to happen because ADHD, and now we're at an hour and 41 minutes where I'm just like, nobody's gonna watch this, but it is what it is. And again, this is why I stick to shorts, because I tend to ramble. But yeah, I don't know. So that's the life recap. I'm gonna continue decluttering, chipping away, get to the point where I feel happy about where things are. I gotta do laundry tomorrow. Tomorrow's my laundry day. Tomorrow's my general reset day for the week. Sundays are reset days. That's why I refuse to work on Sundays. But thankfully, this job is Monday through Friday anyway, so that's fine. So that's that. I'm just really overwhelmed by the closet right now because I don't even know where to begin on that. But interestingly, of all things, Gemini has been helping me a lot through all of this. Break things down into smaller pieces. That's how I was able to consolidate clothes into their individual drawers that I showed earlier. That's also how I was able to consolidate get rid of a bunch of fragile items. That's how I was able to consolidate the clothing from big box number 1 into big box number 2. So clothing is now padding all the fragile items. So that's pretty cool there, how that worked out. So there's a bunch of shit left in the closet I still have to go through, but the biggest boxes are taken care of. And the other day I got rid of a whole box. A random hiccup. I got rid of a whole box of books, so slowly but surely getting there. It's very exhausting. It's very overwhelming, but I'm gonna continue cracking along and then give the an after video, which will probably end up being tomorrow at this point because it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. And tomorrow's also my hair wash day, so then I'll stop looking stop looking so damn gross. My hair was so flat and sticky the day before hair wash day, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, gross. But anyway, so that's that. I'm gonna end this whole somehow literally feature-length film I just made up in here. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.